Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get this dedication underway. Thank you all for coming. Does everybody have a program? Well, I'll self-introduce. My name is David Bryant. I have the good fortune of being the library director, and welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming. I will read these prepared remarks because I'm just not capable of memorizing them all. We are here to celebrate this brand new, reimagined, redefined room in the best library in the Coachella Valley, the best library in Southern California, the best library for its size in California, and best in America. Can you see the pattern? Welcome to the Special Collections Room of the Rancho Mirage Public Library. It is in this space that we will show the best of the best, gifts we have received from many donors with varied interests. You may have followed in the media or while watching the City Council meeting of November 3rd on Rancho Mirage TV, Channel 17. This special library will become the Rancho Mirage Library and Observatory next summer. That is very exciting. Thank you, City Council. This great city department, this great library, and the remarkable place we call home, Rancho Mirage, is in a golden era. These are lofty days for all of us. This afternoon, we welcome our City Council, Mayor Ted Weill, Mayor Pro Tem Charles Townsend. Actually, is Charlie here? I'm not sure. Council members Dana Hobart, Ira Smotrich, and Richard Kite is being represented by his beautiful partner, Becky. We welcome our Library Foundation Board, we welcome our Library Advisory Commission, we welcome our volunteers, and we welcome our patrons. And we always welcome our terrific staff because they are paid to be here. Those of us privileged to work for this beautiful city and this remarkable library often feel as if we live here in this building. So for us, this new Special Collections Room is becoming our living room. It is where we show the Gerald and Betty Ford Personal Library. That is on the west wall. And it is where we show the Joe and Gigi Roberson Mineral Collection on our east wall. The best large mineral specimens outside of museum exhibits are there for you to take a look at today. It is in this Special Collections Room where patrons will browse some of the finest gifts to our library. The library's mission is to support lifelong learning. That is exemplified in this comfortable and important new room. Much hard work, great design, color choices, and skilled carpentry went into what you see here today. I'd like to give special appreciation to the City Council, as always, for funding this transformation, to architect Michael McAuliffe for his design of the display units, to carpenter Aaron Long for his careful artistry to make these units as perfect as possible, to Angela Lepic on our staff for her great color, fabric, and wall covering choices, to Aaron Espinoza, our building operations manager, for attention to every detail, to Susan Cook, principal librarian, who always puts library in every sentence, and to Mark Sambito, our public works director, who oversees all upgrades and maintenance to this great building, now 10 years old. To Dr. Charles Minnell, who headed the planning effort for the city's first library 22 years ago and contributed the Book Club of California volumes to this room, and you'll see those in the lighted section of the Ford collection. Special thanks to Joe and Gigi Roberson for their patience as this project took shape over time, and we hope you agree. The results are well worth the wait. Now it is my honor to introduce Mayor Ted Weill, who has some important thoughts about this new library space. Mayor Weill.
Thank you, David. David said that he wasn't capable of memorizing his speech, so he's going to read it. I am capable of memorizing my speech, but I'm going to read it. Good afternoon, everyone. What a special day this is for our city and our library. We who serve on the City Council also make up the library board. We are so pleased that a sizable investment in this city made and we continue to make in 2016 has led this Rancho Mirage Public Library, being the Coachella Valley's best library, and I think you'll concur, one of the best in California. Our wonderful city is known for many things: lots of sunshine, many resorts, and friendly residents. with the Annenberg Sunnylands estate. We have representatives from Sunnylands here today, and we welcome you. We became the playground of the presidents. Certainly, Barack Obama has enjoyed playing golf here. President Gerald Ford and Mrs. Ford, who we came to know quite well, made Rancho Mirage their home after leaving Washington in January 1977. Their daughter, Susan Ford Bales, along with the Fords' sons, Michael, Jack, and Stephen, generously contributed their parents' personal library to our library in 2014. Most of the books, along with the bust of the late president by sculptor Louis Lee Millay Jr., are on display in this beautiful new shelving on the north wall of this special collections room we dedicate today, and I think it turned out beautifully. Not only are we known for sunshine and friendly people, I must add that we are known for generous people as well. We not only thank the Fords today, but we were here to thank Joe and Gigi Roberson, who gave us the wonderful gift of 40 world-class mineral specimens in the beautiful display unit on the south wall of this new special collections room. Matter of fact, I said to Joe a few minutes ago, are you happy with the way it turned out? Are you pleased? And he said, I should be, I designed it. Thank you both for the travels you took, the heavy suitcases you had, obviously carrying these rocks. You brought home, all of us, your gemological journeys that gave us this geological exhibit we share today. Finally, I want to thank Dr. Charles Minnell, who gave his wisdom to help plan our first library, which opened in January 1996, and then gave us years of service on both the Library Advisory Commission and the Library Foundation Board. Dr. Minnell's Civil War books are on these shelves, and his gift of dozens of the books published by the Book Club of California will be added soon. We have an outstanding library celebrating 20 years of service to our residents. Today, we celebrate the dedication of this special collections room, which makes our library even better. On behalf of the entire City Council, I want to thank you all for joining us today.
Diane Sagan is the chair of our Library Foundation. Diane?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. It's my pleasure to be here to represent the Library Foundation Board. The city of Rancho Mirage has made sizable investments in this library. When you tour your library, you can see the newly renovated spaces, the new shelving, the carpets, the walls, and windows. These architecturally beautiful new showcases here that we're seeing in the Special Collections Room add to the ambience of this magnificently designed building. When the city provides funding for the structure and operational costs of the library, however, it is the Library Foundation which supplements and funds the enrichment activities and programs that make your library an exceptional resource. With the addition of this beautiful special collections room, these donations of the Ford's personal library of books and the Joe and Gigi Roberson's Mineral Collection truly make our library a cultural hub which enriches all our lives. Again, thank you so much for being here today for this special dedication.
Joe Roberson. Joe is going to take about an hour, so get comfortable.
Well, the reason I'm going to need an hour is because, number one, I can't write the speech, and if I did, I couldn't memorize it. We just like to talk. So I got to think of what we want to talk about, and I guess the best thing is to tell you where this where these minerals started and how they ended up here. That's about the only thing I could think of that you might be interested in knowing today. So I'll try to keep it as fast as I can, but Southerners don't move real fast. We started off, it all started with my first trip to Riverside, California from St. Louis, Missouri, where I was living. I visited one of our company's plants out in Riverside, and when we got ready for lunch that day, a guy said, "Joe, you ever been to a rock shop?" And I said, "What is a rock shop?" He said, "I sell rocks." I said, "What for?" He said, "Well, they're beautiful." I said, "Rocks?" He said, "Sure, come and show you." So we went over to a place called Joe's Rock Shop over on West Lacadena in Riverside. And I couldn't believe it. I said, "Man, we don't have rocks like this around St. Louis. These are beautiful." So I bought a big set of agate bookends, and of course the airlines didn't care what you put in your suitcase back in those days, and I hauled them home. Next trip out to Riverside, I said, "I think I'll buy another set of bookends." I bought another set. And I did that years and years and years. I had nothing but bookends. I had more bookends than I did books there at one time. So in 1980, we had some good friends down here in Rancho Mirage, and he said, "Joe, you and Gigi like rocks so much. Why don't you go over to the National Gem and Mineral Show with us over in Tucson and take a look at the rocks over there? You'll like some rocks over there." So we went to that in 1980, and we've been 36 years since, and we're going again in February. So we got a lot of our specimens there and got a lot of them traveling, but we've just had a wonderful time collecting these rocks. And we got to a point where people would call us up and say, "We heard you had a lot of rocks in your house," or mineral specimens, whatever you call them. And we said, "Could we come see them?" And we said, "Of course, we'd love to show them to you." So after doing this for a few years, we decided one day, you know, we're getting old. My wife doesn't like for me to say that, but we are. Anyway, relatively. And so we said, why don't we give our rock collection, our mineral specimens, to somebody, maybe to who would you give them to? Maybe a museum, maybe. So we checked a couple of museums, and they didn't have anywhere for them, didn't have anywhere to put them, didn't really want them. Oh, I got the right idea. We'll go to GIA, Gemological Institute of America, down in Carlsbad. They'll want them. We went down there, and they said, "Oh, we would love to have them. Where are you going to put them?" "Oh, we're not going to display them. We'll keep them in the vault. But when we have a malachite show, we'll get your piece of malachite out, put it in an exhibition. And when we have a piece of, jade, we'll take your jade sample and put it in the jade collection." No, we didn't like that too much. So we came home, and this is about 2.5, 3 years ago. So I said, you know, our library, God, that is a beautiful building. Wonder if they would take it. Came up here and met David Bryant. First time I'd ever met him. And Dave said, "You know, this is hard to believe, but we're thinking about a collector's room, and that fits exactly into my thinking." And I said, "Well, if it does, why don't you come out to our house and take a look and see if you really, I want you to know what we're thinking of doing." So he came out to the house, and he said, "That's exactly what we want." Well, it wasn't but a few weeks later, and Iris Smotrich, who was the mayor at the time, came out with her husband, Tom, and they said, "Yep, that's what we want." So it sort of gelled at that point, a little over 2 years ago, that the library wanted them, and we said, "Oh, what a wonderful thing to leave them here in Rancho Mirage where everybody could enjoy them, and we love this library." So then we went to Seattle once, and we saw a display case very similar to that in the lobby of the Sheraton Hotel, and I said, you know, that is the way I would like for our minerals to be displayed, with a black background. So anyway, we came up with that whole theme, and there it all sits, and it's sort of so wonderful to see it. So anyway, I'll try to conclude now. Southerners they do like to talk, but they don't have to talk. I think I've had enough time here. You know where they started, you know where they ended up, and there's just nobody happier than Gigi and I are that we are giving these to you, because we want you to enjoy them as much as we have, and I just hope everybody can, because now they're out there for everybody to enjoy, and we're so thankful that you have accepted them. Thank you again.
Just a very quick aside, and back to the observatory for a moment, and the mineral collection. Both of these will be integral to our planning children's programming in the summer. Because right now we have a nice summer reading program for kids called the Summer Reading Club. But In the future, we've been buying kind of a canned product there. That's a little inside baseball information. In other words, the posters and some of the design elements come to us, and we ride along with those. Now our own original thinking, our own original design expertise, and our own original collections and observatory can guide our summer reading club for kids. So we're very excited about that. And that's how we see this mineral collection, to an extent the Ford collection, and certainly our observatory in the future. Now it is my privilege to introduce my boss, Randy Bynder. Let's make Randy Bynder great again.
Thank you, David. It is a pleasure being the city manager for the fine city of Rancho Mirage. Thank you very much. And our award-winning library, the staff that we have at the city, and our visionary city council, it's an absolute honor for me to work for the city of Rancho Mirage. How many of you were here in 1996 when President Ford was here to help us turn the shovel? That was amazing. So we have a letter from Susan Ford Bales, daughter of President Ford and Mrs. Ford, addressed to Mr. David Bryant. Dear David, I'm so pleased, as Dad and Mom most certainly would have been, that the Ford collection is being added to the library's special collections room. The citizens of Rancho Mirage and the greater Coachella Valley will always be a special part of the life stories of Dad and Mom. Both of them were grateful beyond words for the many kindnesses they received from their Rancho Mirage neighbors. Inclusion of their personal collection of books as a permanent part of the Rancho Mirage Public Library would be the source of boundless joy and, yes, great big smiles for them. On behalf of Dad and Mom, please convey my sincere gratitude to your colleagues at the library and to the mayor and the city council. With best wishes and abiding friendship, I remain very truly yours, Susan Ford Bales.
Thank you so much, Randy. Well, I guess that concludes our program. We promised to keep it pretty short, and we did. Please stay. We have cookies. Boy, we just went all out. We have chocolate chip cookies and water. Now, that is going to be almost as memorable as this day has been. But thank you all so much for being part of this, for believing in this library, always to our council first and foremost. And I think we're doing some pretty spectacular things here. And we love having you with us today, and just stay as long as you want. We get about 1,000 people a day through the door, so we're prepared, and the more the merrier. Thank you for coming, a very special day for us, and this is how we will showcase our gifts in the future. Thanks a million.